community pasture project.
I understand. Yep. Yeah, I get it. No problem.
So the community pastures, it's actually a very it's a grassroots story. So the whole concept started at the beef farmers annual meeting in 2024. I forget which county brought a resolution forward, but they had a resolution to approach conservation authorities about grazing conservation land. And so as a result of that resolution passing, the staff at the beef farmers sent a letter to Conservation Ontario to see if there was any interest. And as a result of that, the St. Clair Conservation Authority, can we just stay here so I can get off and go?
I can give you right back.
I'll be quick. And then, so anyways, they give the Conservation Authority, St. Clair contacted the beef farmers contacted the Lambton Cattlemen's, and then the Lambton Cattlemen's contacted St. Clair Conservation Authority. Through the winter, we set up a committee that met with the Conservation Authority staff. The Conservation Authority has an individual that's in charge of all their lands that they own, that they lease out. Then there's a group of land down around Wilkesport that's part of the Darcy McHugh floodway set aside, and there's about 600 acres total. We're working currently on a design on 200 acres of that. We will be hearing today. We did a presentation. The cattlemen did a presentation to the Conservation Authority in April and got a conditional approval from the board. They are meeting today. We expect to get final. We have drawn up a lease and gone through all there was a few questions. To establish this pasture, it's all cropland currently, so it's to be converted. There's a lot of infrastructure costs. It'll be over $200,000 to fence it, put water, and everything that's necessary to pick a pasture. But so Monday we actually we did a presentation to the beef farmers, and the beef farmers are going to financially back us, so they're going to loan us the money, and then we pay that back. But so we've been able to access funds. The other interesting part of the timing is there is a program in Ontario now called the Resilient Agriculture Landscape Program, and it's delivered by different parties. As farmers, we go to Ontario Soil and Crop to get money. The Conservation Authority can apply for money for grasslands through Conservation Ontario. And then once we have all our approvals in place, we will become a member of what's called the Association of Community Pastures. So that's a provincial body in Ontario. Right now there are 11 community pastures. Ours is unique in that it's on leased land. That is not done in Ontario. It's all owned by the community pastures on these other ones, and they've been established since the 60s, sorry. So anyways, we become a member of the Association of Community Pastures that allows us to apply for this funding through the Ontario Forage Council.
So you want to expand that to the full 600 acres?
So our hope, it's a small steps. It's small steps, and that our goal is to expand it. We'd love to do all 600 acres. It's a lot of money. It's also the Conservation Authority is going to be taking a loss on income over this 200 acres. They'll have a financial shortfall because the pasture doesn't pay as good a lease. The nice thing about because it's part of this floodway setback, there's a lot of sensitive land here, so there's a lot of floodplain. Roughly 30 acres of the 180 that will be pastured will be in the floodplain, so we'll have restricted grazing, but that's it's not ideal for crop because it floods and everything. And then once you come out of the floodplain, it's kind of unique in Lambton County. There's actually a slope. It's very aggressive and it's highly erodible, not like the flat land that we're used to here.
This is the floodway you're talking about.
So the floodway is the Darcy McHugh. So that's when the Sydenham gets full, it goes down to Darcy, right? And then so this land was all kind of would be flooded, right? So that's why it became part of the Conservation Authority land. Yeah. Yeah. So we're pretty excited. We held a workshop in February at Wilkesport. It was a horrible night. It was a terrible snowstorm, but we had great as to see what interest would be for farmers. We had it at Wilkesport because it's close to here, but there was lots of farmers that came from a long distance. Since we've established this, we've had three main goals. So one was to support the beef herd in Lambton County. So, for instance, Derek talked to you about how they background cattle out west. You know, that's common for pasture. You buy young calves, you put them on grass, you let them grow, then you put them in the feedlot. Here we're going to concentrate on breeding cattle, so there'll be cows and their calves, so cow-calf pairs, or young cattle for breeding, so breeding stock for replacements in a herd. So that we can see an increase in the cattle herd in Lambton County. The second is to support young farmers. So we define young farmer as under 40. We have a board member on the cattlemen that's 38 who said he's young. So I think it's supposed to be 35, but we raised it to 40. But it's cattle. As I'm sure Derek told you, cattle are expensive. It's just like any part of agriculture. There's a tremendous barrier financially. So having a community pasture can give younger producers an opportunity to expand their herd, and they have access to pasture. Grazing is the cheapest way to keep cattle. So
You get a fee per head.
yeah, like there's no manure to spread. They feed themselves. It's a very economical way. A cattle producer, it's essential to have economical grass system. And then the third one was to create a demonstration site and a network for grazing, for people interested in grazing. So we're very excited. There's been a lot of developments in a short period of time. The timing has been very, very. It's just a lot of stuff has fallen into place. This funding. The lease is coming up so that we can do it. The Conservation Authority's been just tremendous to work with, and with all the support and interest we have, it's just a tremendous story. But I think for a farmer, it all started at the farm organization level with a simple resolution. This never would have took place without that and those staff following up. Yes.
You think you can have cattle in there?
So So basically, it's a question about the density of the livestock and how many farmers are participating in it. So our business plan is based on an incremental increase because we have to seed this land down. It takes a while for the pasture to establish and to be able to stock it at higher rates. The stocking density is critical because if we can't get a good stocking density, then we can't justify the lease. So it's all built together. But right now, I believe by year 5, it's 65 cow-calf pairs and 75 replacement heifers. The stocking density is based basically on 2 acres for a cow-calf pair and 1 acre for a replacement heifer. Those are conservative numbers. We should be able to do better than that. We've tried to build our business plan very conservatively because we don't have any money, so we're using everybody else's money. So we don't want to give any false hopes. But this is some pretty marginal land. It's been rented forever. It's poorly tiled, so as a result of that, it sees a lot of soybeans. So there's tends to be soybeans after soybeans after soybeans. So that degrades the land, and so putting it back to grass will build it up, but it will take time for it to support a real. And then a question on patrons. We expect between 20 and 30 patrons. Yeah. I can tell you from the workshop, we could probably fill it. Well, we could fill the whole 600 acres. There's enough interest, but there is also a lot of positive enthusiasm in the cattle industry right now. If you try to buy a steak or a roast, yeah. But, yeah. Yes. So so the way the community pasture system works is it's under this umbrella of the Association of Community Pastures, and the biggest benefit to having the Association of Community Pastures is really the insurance and the liability, because they capture that, so it's a lot cheaper for everybody to afford insurance. So, but then under that, every community pasture has its own board, and so we've drafted we have a draft constitution made up. We'll have to change that over time, but the board will set out policies. Health status is very important. So when you start to commingle livestock, you run there's some biosecurity concerns, right? So you're bringing cattle from different farms. So there'll be a set of health protocols that have to be met. But there'll be an application process, and then it'll be for the board to select.
Huh?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You hear about all the drama on some of the other community pastures. Some community pastures blame that they say they can't get in because only the directors of the board have grazing rights and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know if that's true, but it's a drama. Yeah. So that board has to be picked in. There's currently our constitution calls for one patron, one representative from the landsperson from the conservation authority, the municipal St. Clair representative on the conservation authority board, and then there's 3 more, which are one's appointed by the cattlemen and 2 are voted in. So I think that's 6 or 7. Yeah, that's a lot of work yet to be done. But yeah, it was an exciting week this week to find out we got money though. So yeah. So it'll be quite a feather. There is no community pasture in southwestern Ontario. This will be the first in southwestern Ontario. There is no other community pasture on conservation land. An interesting thing is that since this has taken place, there's been interest by other conservation authorities now that are watching. So it will hopefully lead to more. So yeah. Well, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Chad.